Have you ever looked at a gadget and thought, yeah, there's no way this thing should exist yet? Well, wait until you see the device I saved for later, because it's the kind of tech that doesn't just move on its own. It can literally follow you home. And trust me, once you see it, you'll understand why people can't stop talking about it. But before we get there, welcome to today's listicle. 12 futuristic devices you'll obsess over. Some of these are fun, some are practical, and a few might even freak you out, in a good way. Let's dive in. Neo Ruler. Geo. Let's kick things off with something that looks simple, but secretly changes everything about measuring stuff. Neo Ruler Geo is basically the ruler we wish we had in school. Instead of one fixed measurement, it digitally adjusts to whatever unit you want. Centimeters, inches, pixel measurements, even weird custom units you made up yourself. Yep, it does that too. Just roll it across a surface and it reads the distance instantly. Drawings, furniture, fabric, your wall, your face, anything. And here's the hook. It can measure curves, which a normal ruler fails at miserably. Imagine measuring the exact shape of a curved desk or the pattern of a design. This little tool makes it effortless. But don't settle in just yet, because the next gadget will make you rethink what budget earbuds can even do. Ugreen Hi-Tune T3. Look, almost every company makes wireless earbuds now. They all brag about deep bass, clear sound, magical noise canceling, and then they disappoint you the moment you walk near a bus engine. The Ugreen Hi-Tune T3? These actually punch above their price. They have ANC that works, mics that make your voice sound clean, and a fit that doesn't feel like you jammed a rock into your ear canal. But here's the real surprise. They sound way better than they should for the price. It's like getting restaurant-quality food at a street cart price. If that impressed you, hold up, because the next gadget might be the coolest thing you'll ever put on your desk. Lumideck. Picture your normal keyboard. Now imagine it snapped apart, lit up like a sci-fi control panel, and evolved into something far more dramatic. That's Lumideck. Instead of just typing, this detachable keyboard and touchscreen combo adapts to whatever you're doing. Each section can be rearranged, each key can change its icon, and the touchscreen reacts in real time to your games, your apps, or the vibe you want on your desk. It doesn't just glow, it works with you. You want an epic gaming setup? Done. A clean, aesthetic workspace? Easy. A creative layout for editing, streaming, or music? Absolutely. And here's the wild part. The lighting and interface adjust to your workflow, so everything feels like it fills the entire desk. But if this kind of customizable tech isn't enough, the next gadget might just short-circuit your expectations. DC Watt Now Light. Imagine a light that doesn't need wires, plugs, just you. Now Light is a portable, self-powered lamp that creates electricity from pulling a cord. 1 minute of pulling can give you up to 2 hours of light, or enough power to charge a phone for a short call. It also supports USB charging or solar charging with a panel, so you're never totally dependent on grid power. With adjustable brightness, from soft night light to bright 160 lumen mode, Now Light becomes a flexible lighting option, whether you're camping, dealing with a blackout, or setting up a cozy reading corner at home. And if creating your own electricity wasn't cool enough, the next device might be the cutest little TV you've ever seen. Next is SpacePod Mini TV. Okay, imagine a TV that looks like it escaped from a space capsule. That's the Nexus SpacePod Mini TV. It's a tiny, rounded, retro future TV with a crisp display and streaming features. It looks like something astronauts would use to watch cat videos while orbiting Earth. This is one of those gadgets that makes visitors ask, "What is that?" And then they touch it, and then you have to fight them for custody. But don't blink here, because this next device is so strangely satisfying that people lose hours playing with it. TOSY. You might have seen Tozy gadgets go viral before. They make those insanely bright LED frisbees, spinners, and toys that feel like sci-fi props. Tozy devices aren't just toys. They're engineered to glow like miniature suns. spin smoother than physics should allow, and look absolutely unreal in slow motion. If you ever want to entertain a group of friends or accidentally summon aliens, toss one of these around at night. Speaking of portable magic, the next item is something every minimalist or traveler secretly needs. Rollable keyboard. Alright, stay with me, because this one is genius. A rollable keyboard, not foldable, not snap together. Rollable. You literally unroll it like a scroll and boom. You've got a full working keyboard. Take notes on the plane, write essays in a coffee shop. Pretend you're a tech ninja when you whip it out in public. It's waterproof too, so if you spill coffee during your dramatic typing moment, you're fine. The coffee is not. But we're slowly approaching the gadget that might follow you home. Not yet though. First, something way more wholesome. i.e., AI-powered smart mirror. Think your bathroom mirror is boring? AI Smart Mirror shows you your calendar, the weather, your reminders, the news. And yes, it even lights your face better than your phone's selfie mode. It's like having a polite personal assistant who only appears when you're brushing your teeth. And here's the sneaky benefit. It actually makes your morning routine faster. No more grabbing your phone with wet hands or panicking because you forgot what time your meeting is. But don't relax yet. We're about to step into a device made for creators. Monogram Creative Console. The Monogram. Creative Console is one of those gadgets you don't realize you need until you try it. This little beast has become the secret weapon for video editors, photographers, music producers, streamers. Basically, anyone who works with creative software and wants more control than a keyboard and mouse can offer. You get a set of knobs, sliders, and buttons that you can arrange however you like, almost like building your own custom cockpit. Want faster cuts? Assign them to one button. Want smoother color grading? Use the precision dials. Need cleaner audio edits? Forget dragging tiny sliders on screen. Just glide your fingers across real hardware. Once you get used to it, your workflow doesn't just feel faster, it feels cooler, almost like you're piloting a spaceship instead of editing on a desk. But speaking of design, the next item takes customization to a whole new level. Mansory. When you hear the name Mansory, you instantly picture a billionaire supercar that looks like it drove through a carbon fiber explosion, and somehow came out looking even better. And honestly, that's pretty accurate. Mansory is famous for taking already high-end luxury cars and turning them into wild, aggressive, head-turning machines that barely resemble the originals. They sharpen every angle, rebuild the interiors with materials most people will only ever see in magazines, and push the engines beyond what the manufacturers intended. It's basically an extreme automotive makeover, but done with the precision of a luxury surgeon. You don't have to be rich to admire what they do. You just need eyes and an appreciation for craftsmanship that borders on obsession. Mansory cars are loud, bold, over the top, and impossible to ignore. But let's keep moving, because now we're stepping into something that feels like a movie prop. Texas. TX might look simple at first, just a compact, minimal block of tech, but don't let the clean design fool you. This thing is a powerful 55-watt laser engraver packed into a surprisingly small frame. Once you start using it, you realize how wild it is to have this much engraving power sitting right on your desk. It can cut and engrave on wood, leather, acrylic, metal, and a bunch of other materials that usually need much larger machines. Want custom keychains? It can make them. Personalized gifts? Easy. Intricate artwork, signs, logos, or even full-on hobby projects? The TX handles them with precision. What makes it even better is how approachable it feels. You don't need a workshop or huge ventilation setup. TX brings pro-level engraving to regular creative spaces. Tech that delivers this much power in such a tiny footprint is rare, and that's exactly why TX stands out. Now, we've reached the moment you've been waiting for. China's rifle-equipped robot dog. Yeah, we're going there. This is definitely not your friendly robotic pet. It's a quadruped robot that can walk, climb stairs, scout environments, and, in some demonstrations, even carry a mounted rifle on its back. To be clear, this isn't about promoting weapons. It's about the technology behind advanced robotic mobility. What really shocks people is how naturally it moves. Smooth, controlled, almost too lifelike. If you saw this thing walking toward you at night, you probably wouldn't stick around to figure out what it wants. This device shows just how far robotics has pushed the boundaries in such a short time. And it's a perfect example of why the future feels both exciting and a little unsettling. Whether you find it impressive or intimidating, one thing's undeniable. It's futuristic enough to make nearly everything else on this list feel like a warm-up. So there you have it. 12 futuristic gadgets that feel like they teleported in from another timeline. Some are fun, some are useful, one might haunt your dreams. But hey, that's the future for you. If you like discovering these, buckle up, because tech is only getting stranger from here. And if you want to be the first to see the next wave of wild inventions, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.